What's up guys, I'm Phoenix Master 1 and welcome back for some more Fire Emblem Heroes. And today I'm going to be taking a look at Trade Fruit, and this is just going to be a guide of the sort and what you should be aiming for with this new currency and how you could utilize with Heroic Grail and Grail units in general. So this is a pretty big and huge change in the game in my opinion, because this is really amazing for free-to-play players and low spenders, because this gives us more control over our units and our favorite units. We could customize more on them. And whales don't really care that much about IVs. They could spend 100 to thousands of orbs for chasing IVs that they want, but it's not the case for the other players. And this is a really good quality of life change because of that, because now you could change an unfortunate IV or just, customize IVs on your even neutral units. So I'll be going in depth into this, and this change is going to be happening after the update of September 2020, so next month this is going to be happening. Also, we're actually going to be able to get 100 of these trade fruits right off the bat, along with the new update and the new game mode, which doesn't really have much of a gameplay, but I mean, it is going to be giving us that reward, so that's nice. So we could take this time to plan our investment with this new currency. And this was announced in the FEH channel along with the Dragon Flower increase. And again, as I said, this kind of control for our favorite characters is really good. We could increase their stats to keep up with the new power creep units. And this is really amazing because now we could increase the Dragon Flowers up to 15, who could have it up to 10 Dragon Flowers, and the units who could have up to 5 Dragon Flowers can get to increase it up to 10 Dragon Flowers. So Dragon Flowers are pretty expensive type of resource, which you really have to, stack up for months. So I hope that they can give us more Dragon Flowers. That is definitely going to be a pretty good thing. And keep in mind that this trade fruit is going to be a pretty premium currency. So you need to be careful on where you spend this. You cannot recklessly spend this. And I hope we could at least get 100 trade fruits every month so that we could change at least one IV of a unit per month. So here are some pointers, and I'm going to be explaining these. So you could change any IVs of any kind of unit with trade fruit, and that is amazing. And this also includes neutral IV units like Grail units and Forma units, which have been logged to neutral IVs before this. So once again, this just gives you more control and more customization. And Grail units have always had super boons because of their growth rate and level 1 stats. A lot of people have been getting confused. They're thinking they're introducing new super boons or something like that, but it's not the case. They always had super boons, but they were just neutral IV logged. Super boon is not something you could introduce. It's based on the level 1 stats and the growth rate of the unit. So that is a big thing. And this is also pretty important because here we get to pick our Bane. Now this might not seem as big of a deal for a lot of people, but basically, if you can pick the Bane, if you're investing a unit with low investment, you could pick what kind of stats you will get after merges or Dragon Flowers. Here, for example, you could see how the merge progression goes. So you could basically try to get what kind of stats you want at +2 merge or +3 merge by picking the Bane and by reducing that stat. And you could also do the same for the Dragon Flower here. So it is not really that big of a deal if you're going for +10, but this is really good for the people who don't want to, fully invest all of their resources into a single unit. And this is really amazing for premium units who are quite rare, and it's really hard to fix their Bane with a merge. For example, legendary units, mythic units, duo units, stuff like that. Like you've got a legendary leaf with minus attack IV, you could fix that and just change it to plus attack IV and have something like minus HP. So that's really good. For a mythic unit, you could have your Altina with plus attack IV, which is amazing. Or if you have Bramimond on your Ether Raid's defense, you could just make him into plus attack and he'll just hit much harder. Or you could have Thracier with plus speed IV. All of those kinds of changes can be done, like increase your Mila with plus defense IV, so that's really good. So those kinds of one-off copies of units are going to be really amazing, which cannot be really fixed with the merges because they are just so rare and hard to get, and it just takes so many orbs. So you should definitely try to, have your trade fruit uses on those kinds of units or units which you use a lot. Because if you're going to be using a unit a lot, then it's better to invest your resources into them. And at the end of the day, this game is not just numbers and who hits the hardest. It's about the characters, it's about the soul, and it's about your favorites. So you're able to customize your favorites more and pick the IVs. And of course, Grail units are also a really good investment for this kind of currency. And you can also make your units back into neutral IVs if you foddered the free one, if you do follow free-to-play guides. So I know many people, for some reason, foddered off their free arm. And even if they pulled a free arm, like the IV is gonna mess up the AI movement, so you could turn that free arm into a neutral one if you do care about free-to-play guides, that is. So yeah, these rare mangoes are definitely something, and definitely are gonna be changing the game for better, but I hope that we can get a good amount of them. Now, talking about heroic Grail units is a really important topic with this currency because these IV Katos do give IVs to our neutral logged Grail units. A lot of times, these Grail units have a lot of competition with units in the common summoning pool, and they cannot really be that min-max because they didn't have access to IVs, but this changes now. So with this, you could have IVs, and there are units who have super boons, and they always had these. So if your unit is not mentioned here, it means that they do not have a super boon. And I'm gonna be talking about other Grail units as well who don't have super boons, so stay tuned for that. I've made this kind of chart so you could see the HP super boon, attack super boon, speed and defense, and resistance. A lot of these are not really all that good, I would say, but some of them are really nice. Like plus speed IV Rutger is gonna be nice, plus attack super boon on Halloween Dorcas, that's really useful, and Gangrel with plus resistance, that's also quite useful. So some of these are definitely something you have to keep in mind, and I'm just gonna be going over builds of some of these super boon heroic Grail units because this has been heavily requested to me on Twitter and other social media. Now, keep in mind, these are not the most optimal IVs a lot of times, but because these are super boons, they can give you an extra option to work with your favorite unit. So, here we have Zephiel with plus resistance IV. Plus resistance super boon can make him a better tank. Plus HP is also pretty good for Flame Emperor, like they've got plus speed super boon, plus resistance super boon, all of them are pretty good. HP just gives you better bulk, you could panic ploy better, and you can just use, maybe in future, tier 4 fire boost or like boost skills in general. And if you're facing units like, I don't know, Legendary Celica who cut through your resistance, then HP stacking is pretty good against them. And it's also good against someone like Legendary Almagus. HP stacking is pretty nice. And plus resistance IV does make it so that Gangrel can reach 170 BST and actually be usable in Arena. So that is really amazing because Gangrel is not that bad in Arena. He can have mirror impact, have null follow up, and just give you really good damage output. And having a range unit in your Arena core just makes the experience a bit better for whatever the dumpster fire we have as Arena nowadays. And one of the biggest winners is probably Rutger. It definitely brings a new life to him, and he's also due for a weapon refine, so Rutger fans should be really happy today. So you could just build him up with plus speed IV, or even make him into a close call repel damage reduction tank. And this kind of thing is really good on him because we don't really have too many free-to-play units who can utilize these damage reduction skills. Like we have got Echidna, Rutger is also a pretty good one, Soleil can also use them decently well. So we don't really have too many of these kinds of units who could use them. Trevant, even though he's kind of outclassed by Altena, he could still use plus defense super boon to have 170 BST in Arena and be used there. And of course, heavy hitting, burly units like Halloween Dorcas and Botre can utilize plus attack super boon. Har is one of the shafted units, he does have speed super boon, so something like a flying Jesus with plus speed IV could be done with a build like this and utilize something like guard bearing, which does work pretty well on fast units. Death Knight also has a plus speed IV super boon, and you unfortunately cannot run loud skills on him because it clashes with Scythe of Serial, so this could be done. It's a bit more niche, definitely. As I said, not all of these IVs are that optimal, but definitely are fun options to try with your favorite units. Alphonse also gets plus speed, IV super boon. Sharina Anna are just left in dust, they don't get anything. So Asuka Trio are bonus units in Arena and Ether Raids, and they are pretty good units to invest into because they're always going to be rotating as a bonus unit. So this is Alphonse with his bonus stats and with plus speed, super boon, and speed refine, so he can reach really respectable speed stat. Pretty good mention for a super boon in defense is definitely Renea. So definitely a big W for Renea users if they have Hell in their barracks, because they could use her in dark defense and Ether Raids defense and basically build her up to stack defense so that she can avoid getting isolated by Milla. You definitely need chill defense support on the team, but Renea is definitely a pretty good like free-to-play defense stacking dancer, I would say. Still gets plus attack super boon, which is definitely much needed. Narcine can be just a better mixed tank, I guess, with his rune axe and a distant counter build. He doesn't hit the hardest, but he can be a better tank. Ilger can also have resistance super boon and basically function as a good tank, but still she is going to be having a lot of competition in the normal pool as well. So these are the super boon units. As I said, not all of them are that optimal, but definitely fun options that you could try with, and does give you more customizability. And now we move on to the other Grail units and how you can utilize IVs with them. I'm not going to be going over every single one of them because it's going to take a lot of time, but I'm going to go over some of the main ones which I see a lot being invested into by a lot of people in my community and overall people where I just talk with. So Aversa is a pretty big one. You could go with plus HP IV, and this can just increase the utility of Aversa's Knight. In something like Arena, this is a big deal because for the people who invested into her with red dual flying, this is absolutely amazing because now she can actually just provide you more support. And of course in Ether Raid she's amazing. Mini Nerva is one of the best free-to-play units to invest into, and plus speed IV is really good to keep up with the speed metagame, and she's already so fast that, you know, she can double even more units. Kronia is a pretty popular unit that a lot of people invest for Ether Raids, and plus attack IV is just no-brainer for Kronia. She needs every single point of attack she needs for that Vantage sweeping with Athame, so that really is going to be amazing for her. Branya is also one of the best free-to-play units in my opinion, especially for Astra season in Ether Raids. She's just so bulky and just so good that she can make a lot of the matches super easy. She doesn't care about the Thracier because she can just get that fast. So that's why we want to go with plus speed IV, and this is a tried and tested build at this point in the game. She's just so popular and you see this kind of Branya everywhere, so she just works out really well with plus speed IV. For Arena, you have got our Sword Boys in Astrum and Itsuki, which a lot of people invest into. Itsuki could definitely go with speed IV, but I feel like attack IV could just go with his game plan of you know, doing a lot of damage, one-shotting units, so that could be done. And Astrum with his Mercurius can definitely run plus speed IV and just be very, very fast to avoid any kind of double, even from like plus and alms and stuff like that, which is quite impressive. We have an old Gen 1 armor unit in Black Knight in the waiting room for a weapon refine. So one of the better things about Black Knight is that he does have usable speed. So armors are usually shut down by null follow-up, but Black Knight could avoid that by speed stacking and basically doubling naturally. So that's much better. And Ashnard could be a better tank with plus resistance, IV, and yeah, Mass Lucina is definitely something which Lucina fans must be excited for because she is going to be much friendlier to plus and merge than normal version of Lucina, who's a 5-star exclusive and takes a lot of orbs, and now she has got IVs, so like Mass Lucina is just much better than Lucina when it comes to taking the resources to plus 10. Legion is also a pretty amazing free-to-play unit now after his weapon refine, and this couldn't have come at a better time because people have started to invest into Legion, and plus speed IV is just a no-brainer for a unit like him. He can be an amazing damage reduction tank or just function much better as a Gale Force unit. Naisala has got plenty of speed, but he definitely needs a bit more of an attack for triggering Heavy Blade for his Gale Force, so attack IV is really nice. And Winter Cecilia is also a really popular unit which a lot of people invest into, and plus attack IV just seems like the best one for her. Ursula has got a Blue Crow Tome, which is just a broadly fan type of weapon, and she is one of the units who doesn't have the highest attack, so going with attack Boon is definitely pretty amazing. Navarre is one of the best free-to-play units when it comes to being a Gale Force unit because of Scarlet's Sword and the pulse reduction that he can have. So he could just have a one-turn Gale Force. He doesn't need any kind of skill to trigger that. So attack IV is definitely really good for him because he's quite fast, and Berkut can just hit harder with his preferred weapon and just, you know, do much better in damage output when compared to Conrad. Wallheart is also a pretty nice candidate for speed IV. It might seem like it's not really all that good, but keep in mind that Wolfberg can give him extra speed, and plus 4 speed along with the solo skill and with lull attack speed can put him at really respectable amount of speed, so he could function as a pretty nice lone tank. And we've got Leon, who's also waiting for his weapon refine. Plus attack is really amazing for a Raven Tome user so that you could one-shot the units you have weapon triangle advantage against. And Pain actually is a deceptively good unit because it seems like she doesn't have enough attack to trigger Heavy Blade, but in actuality, she does get more attack from her weapon. She's got a solo skill in slot A, you could run that, and she also can reduce the attack of foe when she's transformed with her beast condition. So she can be a decent Gale Force unit, and speed is definitely something you need on Gale Force units. So that is basically it, my overview of these Grail units and how the IVs can change things for them. I hope this could give you an idea, and as I said, I couldn't really cover all of the units, but I've covered some of the most popular ones which a lot of people invest into. So this could still give you a general idea on how you want to go about using this this forbidden fruit. So I'm pretty excited for this. I hope we can get this at a decent pace, and this is not something super rare. And of course, it feels really nice to patch up some of my favorite units who have got minus attack IV. So yeah, that is amazing. So let me know about your thoughts of this trait fruit, the Ivy Mango, the Ivy Caro, in the comment section down below. I'm really curious to hear them. And with just the one unit, you are definitely going to be using this trait fruit on for sure. And I want to thank all of my YouTube members for their constant support. It really means a lot. And if you enjoyed, please be sure to leave a like and a comment. Share this video with your friends who are thinking of using this item. And be sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell, because YouTube sub boxes are about as functional as the minus attack IV of many of my units after I use my IV mangoes. So with that said, I'll see you guys next time. Thank you so much for watching and have a great day.